You guys, if the advice of just being yourself actually worked, how many more people would actually feel more confident in their message? If it actually worked, right? Wouldn't you feel more confident in your message, in your work, in your content? Guys, this advice of being yourself, and it sounds right. It sounds like, yeah, that feels like good advice, but it's so oversimplified. It's vague, it's watered down. We don't understand truly what it is. That's what we're breaking down in this episode of how you can actually be yourself in your content and in your messaging. So let's talk about why this advice fails and what is actually working. If we haven't met, I am Rachel and I am a multi-passionate mini gen, and I'm generally allergic to fake bro marketing and boring messaging. I am. I work with spiritual entrepreneurs that their work is so deep that they have a really hard time going, how do I talk about this? And I help you distill it into words that make sense, that feel clear, that feel like you, so you can show up in your business more authentic and honestly have more business, more clients, more revenue, more impact, all of the things. So let's dive into the conversation today around being yourself and why that advice is frustrating. I don't know about you, but I mean, I've been hearing this advice for a long time and I still hear it. I still see so many creators going, just be yourself. But I always felt like, well, I don't know what that is, right? And I can be myself in person, but I have a hard time being myself in content and writing and in my marketing. What does that mean to be myself in my marketing? Especially when everyone is spewing all of their, well, you need to talk to pain points and you need to talk about transformation and talk about their desire and put authority and so much advice that then gets piled on top of you being you. It doesn't make any sense. Make it make sense. And here's what I want you to think about. Being yourself assumes you already trust who you are. It assumes that your identity is stable, meaning you know who you are with, and it doesn't matter if someone gives you bad feedback. It doesn't matter, and you're not worried about what your middle school friend will think, or you're not worried about trolls. You are stable in who you are. A lot of people aren't. It assumes that our nervous system isn't scanning for approval. This is a big one. If you are showing up with this need that does my work work? Are people going to get a transformation from it? Are they going to get any help from it? And you're looking for validation and proof that it works. This is going to alter the state, alter your authentic self, because you are going to worry. You're going to show up and be a little less outspoken, a little less creative, a little less. You have to have a stable identity in that I know that my work is awesome. I know my work is awesome, right? Kind of be a little egoic with yourself. We downplay our genius, we downplay our talents, we downplay the impact that we can have on people because we've been taught so much that we need to play small, that we need to just sit here and let the big boys do the thing. You have such amazing gifts. I want you to get excited about them. I want you to be like, damn, I am so good. I just rocked that session. I just did XYZ. Like, pump yourself up, get so freaking excited. That's the authentic self that you can start to tap into. Okay. It also assumes that you know what part of you is meant to lead. And what I mean by that is that there's lots of different parts of myself. I'm a mini gen, right? I like sparkly things. I like all the things. I'm all over the place in a lot of ways. But there is one part of me that is meant to lead in this business, that is meant to lead here, right? And I like to think of it as like roles in some way. I don't want to put labels necessarily on it, but roles. Who am I being in my business? How am I showing up? Because I know that if I want to lead in my business, that version of me cannot be afraid to share my voice, cannot be afraid to share my offer, my gifts, because I'm not leading if I'm not doing that, if I'm afraid. So we have to understand what being yourself already assumes, that our identity is solid, that our nervous system is calm and not looking for validation, not looking or scanning for problems. Most people aren't afraid to be themselves. They're afraid of being too much or not enough, that who they are isn't actually good enough or it's too much. If you just showed up as yourself, what are you afraid of? That's a really deep, hard question to answer, but it's so eye-opening. And the next point in all of this is that expression does not equal direction. Just because you're out here being yourself doesn't mean that people are going to buy from you. That's a hard one too. And it's why influencers can show up and talk about and be themselves, but still not make any money. How many of you have heard those influencers that had like 100,000, like huge numbers, but they were making nothing from their endeavors because there was no direction in what they were actually helping people with and leading people to, right? Authenticity without orientation creates confusion. When people say that my message feels messy, it's not your words, it's that your internal compass. You haven't figured out where you're going in your business. What are you helping people with? And even more so, where are you leading them? What is the thing that you're building? If you don't have a vision, a direction, your authentic self is probably going to take you on a lot of tangents, especially if you're a mani-gen. It's going to take you down all kinds of different weird avenues. You're going to have create content about all kinds of random things instead of having some direction of, you know what? I know that I am amazing at XYZ, and this is where I'm going to orientate everything, the direction of what I'm talking about. When you don't know who you're being or where you're leading from, your message just kind of sits here and floats. It's kind of like, what are you doing? I don't know what you're doing. You're kind of here, but you're not here. Okay. It just floats. What actually makes being yourself work is three things. And I'm really excited to dive into these. Like this is the part that makes be yourself work. Okay. Is the next three things I'm going to talk about. So the first one is your identity, right? Who you're being. This is not the persona. It's not the niche. It's the version of you making decisions. It's like who you're being, right? I know that I'm the type of person that has gifts, that knows who she is deep down, and I'm going to show up as that person no matter what. I'm not going to allow outside influence to tell me who I need to be. I'm not going to let outside influence make me scan and worry about trolls or worry about whatever. Like I am me and I'm going to show up as me, really understanding what your identity is. The second piece is orientation, right? What are you leading people towards? This is not an offer per se, but it's what changes when people work with you. That's what you're leading people to. And this isn't necessarily something you have to put in your messaging, but you have to know it, believe it, and be it. I know that I am helping people really uncover who they are so they can speak their most authentic message in a way that resonates with their people and creates impact and income, grows their business. That's the direction, the orientation of where I'm taking people. And the third is permission. Permission to be yourself. Permission to do it differently. Permission to show up however you want. Permission to be as big as you want, or to be as introverted as you want. You don't have to express everything. I want you to really start getting into what is actually exciting for me right now. I see so many people saying, well, I should be talking about this, and then I'm going to try and show up and be my authentic self. I have a client right now that has done a program for sales calls, and she's deep into that work. They have a very specific protocol on how to do sales calls, and it's killing her authentic self. Because that's not how she would show up. It's not the thing she cares about. It's not how she wants to help her clients. And so she's getting messed up in her head thinking, well, why can't I make this work? You can't make it work because it's not the way that you want to express yourself. It's not the way you want to help people. It's not the orientation. It's not your leadership, right? You have to understand how you want to be the leader, how you want to show up, your identity, and where you're taking people. You can make sales calls work for sure, but you have to strip away all the stuff that's not you so that you can authentically shine. And what's so ironic but yet beautiful about this client is that she used to be incredibly successful doing energy work, and she moved into the more like therapy and the more like structured realms and niches and industries. And now she's like, I feel like I have to do it this way. But this is who she wants to be, this version of herself that was just free to express herself and show up and give her gifts and help people. And now we're going back to merging the two, using the information that she's got now, but merging it back with her authentic self so she can show up as herself and feel really effing good about it. This is why I love human design so much. because it is that permission slip. Human design it's not about labels. Drives me crazy when people get so hung up on, well, I'm a 6'2" and I have this gate and this channel, and that's what this means. And yes, but, or maybe and, if it's not embodied, if you are using it as a limitation to what you are actually meant to do, it is not serving you. I want you to use it as a permission slip to say, this is why I do things differently, because this is the way I am meant to shine. As a Manny Gen, I gave myself so much shit for pivoting and changing my mind all the time, but it is who I am, right? I can't not live that way. So how can I do it, but still lead myself, still do it in alignment? Human design, it's going to break all of your ideas of what you think messaging is, because I guarantee you the way that you're designed is not the way that you were taught or the way that you have been approaching messaging. It's going to completely shift how you look at messaging. Example I often give is that pretty much all the strategies out there that worked because that person, it was aligned for them. They found their authentic expression within that, and it worked. And then they started teaching it to other people. And yeah, it'll work for some people, maybe for a time. This is what I've noticed is that the templates will work for a time, and then they'll just stop working. Just straight up stop working. And you're like, wait, why? Why did it stop working? Because it wasn't in alignment to begin with, right? It's not the way that your body naturally wants to express itself. I have lots of videos breaking all of this down, so I don't want to tangent here, but it's why some people are meant to be specific. Some are more expansive. Some are story-based. Some are visionaries. All have this unique puzzle of how we want to express, what we want to talk about, how we want to show up. And yes, you could get there by just following your own lead and trusting yourself. But what I've found is that most people don't trust themselves. Ironic, isn't it? Most people don't trust themselves. And human design is that blueprint that goes, yeah, I do want to do it that way. This is my permission slip to do it that way. So I want you to give yourself a little grace in this and realize that being yourself isn't just a simple be yourself. It is ultimately a journey to uncover who you truly are, how you want to lead, how you want to be, right? And there is a lot of power in showing up as yourself. And I do believe in this AI age of crap content, schlop content, of people just throwing crap up. It is so important now than ever to be yourself online, to not try and polish yourself, to not try and fit yourself into a box that sells. It is you. You are selling you. How are you leading you? Trust your direction. Trust who you're being. Every time I second guess my message, it's not because I didn't know what to say. It's because I've disconnected from who I am being. Full stop. Every time I second guess. And honestly, every time I go through a little bit of an identity upgrade, the second guessing comes in and it's like, wait, are you sure you want to do this? Are you sure? And it's just because I've disconnected from who I am, disconnected from how I want to lead, disconnected from the direction that I'm going and how I'm helping people. So let's reframe this being yourself debacle thing. And instead of being yourself, I want you to try something. I want you to stand somewhere and decide who you're being. Then let your words follow. Who do you want to be? When you are writing that piece of content, how do you want to be when you show up? Do you want to be the person that trusts their words? Do you want to be the person that knows that their work is awesome? Do you want to be the leader of your business, leading other people, leading your clients to transformations and healing and what they truly want, leading them back to themselves? What are you being? That is going to be way more powerful than ever going, how do I be myself? Clarity, my friends, is the byproduct of embodiment, not effort. It is not about the effort. It is about embodiment, trusting me, trusting myself, trusting where I'm going, right? I hope you loved this episode. If you're curious about using your human design, the Throat Center episode is so good at explaining how your throat is configured to express itself. It is the best place to start. I will see you in the next episode. Thank you.